Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at a scenario where Napoleonic France comes back in 2023. So here we have pretty much the border, the largest extent of their borders. We have them holding lands in the Balkans, in Italy, obviously all of France, some in Iberia, the lowlands, and Germany. I'm also going to be including their puppets here, as I consider them to be pretty much ruled over by the French at the time. So we have the Polish puppet, we have the Confederation of the Rhine, which is just Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Naples, we have Spain, and that's about it. So let's get right into it. And Napoleon, well, he is going to have a very large empire, but he is still going to be far behind the USA or China. So he is going to need to expand his influence a bit. First up is Germany. It still holds Berlin, but it is incredibly weakened. So it is going to be partitioned between Napoleon himself and his German puppet. Napoleon is going to get pretty much all of northern Germany, whilst the German puppet is going to get Berlin and the Polish border. Meanwhile, Napoleon is going to decide to invade Poland. He is obviously going to call his German puppet and his Polish puppet in. And although this might be a bit of a difficult war, I don't see him struggling very much. Although the Polish puppet will start to fall, and I do see it falling sooner or later. Besides that, though, Napoleon would simply march his armies in, and this isn't actually Napoleon, but it's Napoleonic France, so that's what I'll be calling him, like the leader. Napoleonic France is going to be leading their armies into Poland until eventually the Poles surrender. It's really not very much of a question. They are going to be expanding their puppets in Germany and in Poland. So first of all, of course, Poland is going to be given all Polish territories held by Napoleonic Poland and the Polish Republic, just uniting them. This is about Poland's land in real life, except for a tiny bit here out of Lithuania maybe. But the German ally is going to be awarded some lands for their assistance. They're just going to be getting some small border territories up. Which one did I click on? There we go. They're just going to be awarded some small border territories. Nothing very major. Something looking like this. Actually, no. Come on. Why do I not like that? Well, guess we're going all out. Since I can't get World War II German borders, Poland is going to be stripped of all lands previously held by the German Empire. Simply because I can't get the World War II borders to look well, even though that is what I would rather use. So we have the new Polish Republic and the German Empire being created. It also wouldn't be a republic, would it? But I'll be keeping it being called a republic, at least for now. So now, with a lot more influence in the region, they're going to continue expand. To expand, Austria is going to be incorporated into Germany, as France needs a more powerful ally. Italy is going to be reunited once more to give them a more powerful ally. And they are also going to take over whatever's left of actual Italy, which is just the island of Sardinia, and incorporate it into France proper. From there, they're going to invade up into Denmark, annexing the entire country, and continue to consolidate power across the entirety of mainland Europe. Or at least that is their goal. Now that they control Denmark, they have buffers of some sort on all sides. They already had their natural borders and more, but they now have puppets on almost every single side of France and on every single side of, I guess, France proper, mainland France, not including the Balkan territories, but they still have more than a few threats, as there's been a new alliance made, which is called the Anti-French Coalition between the United Kingdom, Portugal, and a few other French bordering countries. Their main goal? Don't let France win. Kill the French. It is going to consist of the UK, Sweden, Portugal, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. It is going to consist of Czechia, and it is going to and Slovakia, along with Romania and Bulgaria. So yeah, that is already quite the large anti-French organization, but as France continues to expand, it will only get larger. How will they expand? Well, they demand the Balearic Islands from the puppet, which are of course given up, and then they invade down into Algeria. Algeria is not going to stand a chance as the French make a naval landing and capture the entire Algerian coastline. They then slowly begin to push down further and further into more and more desert, until eventually pretty much all of Algeria's important land is taken. Soon enough, the actual government surrenders, leaving only guerrilla fighters in the desert. And eventually they too are going to surrender, or at least formally, this is going to be French land. Now with influence in Africa, they aren't just going to let that go away. They're going to invade Tunisia, Morocco, and Mauritania. From there, they're going to invade Mali and basically make themselves a new colonial empire. They need to exploit some people, right? They've already taken Europe and they want control of pretty much the entire world. At this point, the Anti-French Association of Nations who don't want France to expand is going to expand, along with a new alliance forming up, which is basically the same thing but for Africa. The Africans are going to decide, no, we are not going to let the French take us over again. So Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, kind of random, but Guinea joins. Chad, Libya, Egypt, and Sudan form an alliance. Soon after, Saudi Arabia decides to protect them, so although not being formally inside the alliance, if somebody does declare war on any of these countries, Saudi Arabia will get involved. France simply consolidates its influence in North Africa until setting its sights elsewhere. As I've mentioned, the European Anti-French Association has been expanding significantly. We see Hungary join in, Moldova joins, and at this point they're pretty much letting anybody who doesn't want France to take them over join, which is pretty much everybody. France, fearing that all of Europe will soon be under, British control, decide the Balkans still haven't all joined this new British association, so I have to kill the Balkans before they do, and they declare war on all of these countries at once. We are also going to have Ukraine join the Anti-French League, along with Norway and Finland. So yeah, France finally has a very, very worthy rival on the mainland, and even more at sea. Just finish coloring this in. We also see the US promising its aid to the Anti-French League, although since I don't want this to be completely one-sided, I'm going to be leaving them out. Ireland joins, and as does Iceland. At this point, Napoleon's looking around wondering what they can do. They start a quick invasion into Russia, capturing Kaliningrad. It is simply given to their German puppet, but they don't have any aspirations of going further. In the Balkans, they just begin a very simple, very easy invasion of the Balkan countries. Croatia and Slovenia have already lost most of their land, and Bosnia isn't looking too much better either. Montenegro and Albania can do nothing. Neither can North Macedonia or Kosovo, who Serbia refuses to protect. Therefore, only Serbia is left, and not being so strong themselves, Serbia will be soon to die. France will annex some of the lands themselves, but also set up a powerful puppet government in the Balkans to take care of the region. It's going to be kind of like a French Yugoslavia, but have literally nothing to do with Yugoslavia, just be in a similar region. With that, France's influence is now competing with the UK, and it is soon going to be time for the final battle. France really doesn't care very much about Africa. They were just looking for expansion anywhere at all. And now, with pretty much all lands that can be taken, they decide it is time to prepare for the final battle, which is of course going to be on the UK. If you don't know how the Napoleonic Wars went in real life, France beat everybody up, then slowly but surely everyone came back, and mostly thanks to British help, they were able to defeat the French. But now with France being far more powerful, they believe they can win, and that is what they are going to do. So they declare war on the Anti-French Association. They quickly begin their invasions. They invade into Portugal through Spain. They invade out into the Balkans. And they begin an invasion into the Baltics. From there, they basically just try to stammelate it, pushing up to the Danube River on most fronts, whilst nearly capitulating all of the Balkan countries, only setting up on the nearest river line, not managing to capture Riga just yet. They then further push into the Balkans, cutting Greece off from Bulgaria and Romania, capturing the entirety of mainland Greece, with the islands just barely holding out, and pushing up fully to the Danube River. From there they wait. They consolidate all of Portugal, and make a naval invasion in southern Sweden and Norway. They capture most of the population regions of both of these countries, therefore only leaving the harder to invade but underpopulated north. They continue their invasion but are eventually stopped. They then attempt to finish off the Baltics, which goes quite well as they capitulate both Latvia and Estonia, capturing multiple islands. And, well, although they are being stopped at the Danube for now, a naval invasion in southern Ukraine is about to change that. They quickly push past the Danube, and capitulate all of Romania, therefore crushing the entire blue team front. They begin to steamroll Ukraine, and things really aren't looking that great for anybody other than France right now. Soon enough, Ukraine surrenders, and Europe has been nearly consolidated. They quickly cut off the UK from the Mediterranean, as they have already captured Gibraltar at this point, and sailing around Africa, well, the UK's only option now would be to send their armies all the way around, and Egypt has given them access through the Suez Canal, but this is just impossible to get the troops through, especially with French naval raiding right along here. From there, the French begin to flex their own naval muscle, beginning a blockade of the British Isles out from Spain into the further ocean. They attempt to fully cut off the British, but that is just seen as impossible, and soon enough they naval invade Finland and quickly begin to push in once more, capturing all the important regions, getting the government to surrender, but failing to push into the vastly underpopulated north. At this point, the British know they're going to lose, with naval dominance leaving them and most of their allies being dead. They are soon enough to surrender. What's going to put the nail in the coffin? Well, you know that blockade? France has been slowly but surely building up their own navy, and they are now far more powerful than the British. So the British start basically just sending their navy right along their coastline, making sure the French can't invade them. Where don't they do that? In Ireland. Soon enough, Dublin falls, and the Irish, who really weren't that hot on being on this side, decide to surrender. From there, it's just the British and the Icelandic on, and with pretty much zero British help, Iceland surrenders soon enough as well, leaving only Britain. Soon enough, the French managed to make a naval invasion in northern Britain, and, well, in northern Scotland, I guess, and a naval invasion in Wales, quickly push out, and although the UK is doing absolutely everything it can to stop these attacks, it is quickly being overwhelmed, losing all of southern England, London, and soon enough, the entirety of the anti-French League is destroyed. So if you hear something in the background, it's raining, which is annoying, but what can you do? With that, the peace treaty is just going to secure French dominance over the world. We are going to have the British being reduced to just Britain. They're going to lose Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland will be returned to Ireland. These will all be turned into French puppet states. From there, Spain will be expanded into northern Portugal, whilst the rest of Portugal is turned into a French puppet. As for basically the Balkans and just Eastern Europe, Czechia will be annexed by Germany, whilst Poland is expanded down into Slovakia, into northern Hungary, and out into Ukraine. From there, a Hungarian puppet and a Ukrainian puppet will be made, whilst Romania is expanded into a more powerful French client state. We also see basically just full destruction of anybody who's anti-French anywhere. If you do not support France and you live within its territory, you are most likely dead. France expands its allies slightly, allowing its Balkan puppet to push down to Greece, whilst the rest of the land is given over to Bulgaria, along with the Romanian coastline, as they don't want the Romanians getting too powerful. And a new balance of power is made, one where France controls pretty much everything. So although they didn't take the most land themselves, they have most definitely secured their influence across pretty much the entire continent. Just gonna finish drawing in these borders, and we can see what this is going to look like. My next guess is they're probably gonna do something to weaken the Germans, as they're expanding far too much. Something would probably happen to them. We also see the Nordics being united, simply France trying to get some more powerful allies. They don't want to have to carry everything themselves, but they also have to balance it and make sure that no puppet can ever become more powerful than France itself, as that would just lead to their own complete destruction. They choose to at least occupy Britain for the time being, whilst beginning plans to divide Germany into by bringing back Austria and Czechia once more. From there, I'm just going to finish drawing in the borders, and we can see what Europe is looking like, as well as Africa. I have no doubt that Napoleon, or whoever's in charge of this new France, is simply going to go back down to Africa and crush the Anti-French African Association, or whatever I decided to call it. They really do not stand a chance. At this point, the US would have most definitely gotten involved, but simply for the sake of not making this unfair, the US has stayed out of it until now. France is still not singularly as powerful as the US, but if you add in all of their influence across everything, yeah, they still couldn't beat the US, but they can at least rival the US. They control a majority of Europe, well, at least a very, very good portion of Europe. That is either fully under their control or under the control of one of their client states. They also control large parts of Africa, and I can definitely see them expanding elsewhere. I don't know how they would hold this, but let's just say they find a way. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye.